Welcome to Blue Talks.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm here at Harvard. I feel like Elle Woods. Like Harvard's hard? This is so exciting. I am Jessica Weaver. I am a wealth advisor. In my world, we like to joke that if you go to a networking event and you do not want to talk to somebody, just tell them you're a financial planner. Just tell them because any financial planner is here. I'm sure you know somebody who's a financial planner. Gosh forbid you get sold another insurance policy. I like to think that I am more than that. I like to think of myself as a wealth advocate. I've been called a wealth activator before. I am the author of 3 best-selling books. I am the owner and founder of the Women's Wealth Boutique, which is the fastest growing woman-owned financial firm in the United States. Thank you. I've been featured in Oprah, Forbes, Entrepreneur, CBS, NBC, all over the media circuit for here. My first 2 books I wrote while being pregnant. I thought it was a very cool legacy story. My husband just thought it added a whole lot of stress to an already stressful situation. Why would you do that, Jess? And then why would you do it again the second time for it? But I've always have said there is power in your story. Your story is a privilege to hear, right? Your story is what brings your audience to you. It's what gets them to act, to stand up, dare we even say, to transform their lives. And the more vulnerable you can be with your story, the more you are inviting your authentic audience in to see the real you. It builds the trust. To me, your story is that bridge from you to your audience. And it gets them on that bridge coming to you. And the more they come along that bridge, the more you know you've got them, right? They're sticky, they're loyal, they're with you for life, right? Ride or die kind of people. So here's my story. My 3rd book, I wrote in 1 week. Confessions of a Money Queen, I wrote in 1 week. It was during the busiest time of my career to that point. I just had my 2nd child. It was a COVID pandemic. And the financial firm I was a part of decided we're going to change broker-dealers. I was a part of actually my father's firm. So changing broker-dealers means you're moving from Fidelity to Schwab. You're moving from Merrill Lynch to Ameriprise, to give you an idea. So we were moving a $300 million firm to another broker-dealer. Right away, I knew my gut, this is not the firm for you, Jess. This is not the broker-dealer for you. You ever feel that? You're meeting with a new prospect client and in your gut, you're like, I shouldn't work with them. I shouldn't, but for some reason, you keep going along with it. And then they're calling you in the middle of the night. They want to meet with you on the weekends. It's a constant emergency with them. Yeah. So right away, I knew this was not the right broker-dealer for me. But at the time, I didn't think I had any options. I didn't have the capacity to take on anything more or even to search out another option. 2nd kid, COVID pandemic, I was barely holding on as it is. And right during this transition, I did what I always said, follow the leader. I hoped for the best. We'll see what happens. I trusted my dad. During this time, it felt like God told me to stop everything I was doing and write this book. I would be driving home from work, my hour-long commute, and I would have to pull over and furiously type into my Google Docs app on my phone. Or I would do a voice memo and transcribe it when I got home. Yes, you can write a book that way. I've written 3 books using that method. You can do it that way. Usually when we have these aha moments from God, and this is what I always did, God, I don't have time for this. I do not have the time or energy to sit and write a book. I've written 2. I know that rabbit hole. I do not want to go down that rabbit hole right now. But for some reason, this time, I actually listened. So by Friday of that week, I sat down to dinner with my husband, who poured some wine. We did our cheers, made it through another week during COVID. And I said to him, this is amazing. I've written 8 chapters for my new book. And the look on his face was pure horror. I think I heard a gulp. His jaw dropped. He goes, you're pregnant. I'm like, no, I'm not pregnant this time. Just the book. No babies. We knew what we could handle. during COVID, and we were barely handling 2 toddlers as it was. So I didn't know what to do with Confessions of a Money Queen at the time, so I sat on it while we finished transitioning over to this new broker-dealer. And the more we transitioned over, the more my gut confirmation was correct, confirmed it more and more. But it felt like I was on this fast-moving train. And you're on that train, and I'm thinking, how am I getting off this train without badly injuring myself, without injuring the entire train, everybody on the train, everybody around the train? I don't know how to get off of this train. And let me tell you, I would wake up terrified every single morning. What fire am I gonna have to put out today? It was a messy transition, clients unhappy, accidents were happening. And let me tell you, when you're dealing with people's money, it's emotional. We don't want it to, but it's emotional. And then the new broker-dealer, one by one, was picking apart everything that I had built. Who's ever birthed a program? And I call birthing because it does feel like child labor, right? Birthing books. So all of a sudden they go, yeah, those 2 first books you wrote, you can't use those anymore. That blog that you've had for years and gets thousands of views every week, you can't use that anymore. The programs, we're taking it all down. And I'm like, why is this happening? My whole world, all of this that you see up here, I was being forced to take down. And they felt like babies, right? They felt like my babies were taking from me. And right around that time, I started working with Brittany Young, who's speaking later today, so make sure you stay around for her. But she says, you know what they're doing? You know what's happening, Jess? God's unraveling everything that's no longer serving you. I'm like, that's what this feels like? Because it feels like I'm falling off of a cliff and there's no safety net, right? Everything I had built to this point taken from me. But that's what happens, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happens when you go down that wrong path. That door is going to get closed in your face unless you close it first. God will slam that door. That bad relationship you shouldn't have gotten into, yep, that's going to fall apart. That career path that you were told you should go down because your parents said you'd be really good at it, that's going to fall apart too, right? God's going to close those doors unless we close them first. And that's what was happening in my world. All along, though, I always heard this voice in my head my entire career, but especially during this time, I heard this voice saying, Jess, you're playing a larger game. Don't worry about today's stressors. There are bigger pieces at play. And I want you to, in your mind, say that. Say it in the third person first, because there's so much power behind it. Say it was like, Lori, Karen, John, you are playing a larger game. And then what I did was I flipped and I said, I am playing a larger game. I took accountability over it. I took the power and the control over it. This is my life. This is what I'm doing. Play the larger game. So what is that larger game, right? How do you get out of what I call the box, right? What is the box? The box is what society has told you should be doing, what your parents, your spouse, media, social media, gosh, let's talk about social media, tells you what you should be earning, right? And you end up staying in this little world that we create. And this is what the broker-dealer did to me. They go, you need to stay and operate within the confines of this box. This happens to a lot of us, right? Don't go outside that box. It's scary out there. Don't go out there, right? I went to Catholic school for 9 years. I know what happens when the ruler comes out, right? You're going to get smacked until you go back into that box. You know what I did to the box? I'm going to do this move just so that you can see my shoes on the video. But kick that box down. Did you get the pearls on the heels? Kick the box down. I love Mother Nature, so I recycled the box. I brought it down on recycling day to the curb. Somebody else could live in the box. I am not going back in the box. You are larger than the box. Each and every one of you are larger than the box. The box is keeping you small. The box is preventing you from playing a larger game. So you can start to peel back those layers and uncover, right? What is that thing that terrifies you, right? Launching my very own female financial firm, that is a scary endeavor. You got regulators, compliance, legal pieces. Not everybody's going to step up and do that. What is it, that dream that you're almost too scared to even say it to yourself or think? Or you say, that would be really cool if that happened, but it's not going to happen, right? It's always followed by a but. What is that larger game that you are being summoned to play. So transitioning over, my world's falling apart, everything's dismantling, clients unhappy, right? And I woke up one morning. You ever do this? You're lying in bed and you're like, I'm not opening my eyes up yet. And you start analyzing things. And I'm looking around in my mind. I'm like, okay, Dad's not coming to save me. Nope. Broker dealer's not coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save me. No one's coming to save you, right? No one's coming to save you. Everybody else, they got their own problems to deal with, their own mountains to climb. This is your mountain to climb. This was my mountain to climb. And you probably can think of people that they'll walk around their mountain. They'll look, I really want to be up there. I just don't have time to do it. I don't have the energy to do it. I'm just really busy. Now's not a good time. They'll just keep circling that mountain. But that was the first moment where I looked at my falling off a cliff, everything unraveling. I looked at my business and I said, there's a real problem here. But I programmed my mind to think if there's a problem, there's an opportunity for change and to make money. So I'm not only going to solve this problem, I'm going to make money off of this problem. I'm going to make millions off of this problem. And I woke up, finally opened up my eyes. I said, thank you, God, for this day. Thank you, God, for blessing this day. I still do that every single morning when I open my eyes. I'm like, I'm going to take leadership. I'm going to finally take it. I'm going to play that larger game, step into leadership. I hired my first admin, got into action mode. Right around this time, I decided I'm going to start doing an email marketing campaign, right? My old business coach told me I should do it, and at this point, nothing's working. So I might as well, you ever just like, I'll throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. I'm going to throw money at the problem. That never works, but I'm going to throw money at the problem and see if it works. So the whole goal was to get qualified leads onto my calendar. I told them my ideal client, corporate women nearing retirement. Love working with them. I love Social Security. I love long-term care. I love estate planning. Who did they send me? Female financial advisors. Like, what do you want me to do? Am I going to sell them a financial plan? Like, they do exactly what I do. But something in my intuition told me, just get on the phone with them. And so I did. And I was getting 10, 30 a week of these female financial advisors. And I saw a recurring problem. There's a pattern. They all had the same exact issues I was having. Intuition clue. Then one day I got on the phone with a female advisor and she had just left her father's firm a few months ago. Whew, blew my mind. Intuition's lighting up. I'm like, you can do that? I have been toying with the idea of separating from my father's firm for years, but all I saw was breaking his heart. Right? I only saw breaking his heart. And then the very next day, I had a call with a female advisor, and she goes, you need to change your framework. Intuition's lighting up. Oh yeah, this is it. I met with attorneys. I hired my legal team. I'm opening up my very own financial firm. 2 years ago, none of this was happening. This is the fall of 2021. But that's how quickly things can change when you listen to your intuition and you double down on trust. And what I mean by double down on trust is taking those inspired actions. I saw the breadcrumb trail that God was giving me with all of these women, and I was just following it. And 2 takeaways, if this is the only thing you take away from my talk today, is listen to your intuition. Here are 2 huge clues. 1, are the people, money, opportunities that come to you the quickest. Lean in there. Where are the money, people, opportunities that come to you easily, effortlessly, right? It's just with ease. It doesn't even feel like you're working. People are constantly asking me, how are you marketing? How do you have a waiting list of people to join you? I'm like, I'm just having fun. I literally am just enjoying this. Lean in there. We've been so programmed, back into the box that in order to earn more money, we have to work harder, longer. There has to be sacrifice. I'm calling bullshit on that. Bullshit on that. It's not true. When you are living in your purpose, the money comes to you so easily, so quickly, so effortlessly. But most people aren't going to step out of that box. They aren't going to take that risk. Money Queen set all of this in motion. which looking back, it makes perfect sense because it was a gift from God, right? It was a direct download from the divine written in 1 week. It's what forced me to take action. It's what made my previous broker-dealer reject me. Let me tell you, I'm so grateful that they were assholes. I feel like that's when you've made it in life. When you can look back on whoever rejected you, whoever said no to you, made you feel like you were a failure, and thank them. I'm so glad they were dicks. I wouldn't be where I am today if they weren't. I finally stepped out from behind the scenes and into the limelight. I stopped playing small and I showed up. Women were so inspired by my story that they're like, we're coming with you. And this was another huge intuition clue. Build something. Don't just build your own firm. Build something bigger. Build a platform nationwide for women advisors to join you. I mean, we really are nationwide, from New Jersey to Washington State, down to Alabama, Texas, nationwide. That was me disrupting and dismantling the financial industry for women. Women are no longer going to be behind the scenes, in the shadows. They are actually stepping up and demanding their seat at the table. And we just decided to create our own table, let's be honest, for it. Now, the women who are with me today at the Women's Wealth Boutique aren't the ones who initially said yes. Those initial women, I call them fillers. Does this ever happen in your world when you create something new? You get this influx of new people. It's almost like this new sparkly object, and they come. It's God saying, is this what you really want? Is this really what you want to do? Are you ready to play big? I'm like, yes, God, I want to have a platform for female advisors. Women make up only 18% of financial advisors. And that number hasn't changed in 20 years. 2 decades of no growth, no momentum, just pure frustration to me. When I started in 2010 in the industry, I was a part of an all-male financial firm, my father's firm, and I would reach out to those successful female advisors. And they very quickly said, I don't have time to talk to you. They saw me as a threat. I saw them as part of the problem. My firm, our firm, the Women's Wealth Boutique, would change all that. We would be a firm of sharing, of mentorship, of inspiration, collaboration. I mean, the ladies are constantly partnering up and teaming up because we are so much stronger and better when we are together and working. We raise all of our games up. I'm so grateful for those initial women who did say, I'm coming with you, because it did make me build bigger. But then I also had time to create something really special and magical by myself. Be grateful for those lulls in your business, because that is the time to go inward and see, what is it that I want out of this endeavor, out of climbing this mountain? What is it that I want? So we launched the Women's Wealth Boutique in March of 2022. We've onboarded 5 advisors. We have a waiting list of 10 financial advisors joining us this quarter of this year. We are hiring. We are doing some amazing things here. We are going to disrupt and dismantle the financial industry for women. Every single woman here has taken a huge risk, huge risk. They're walking away from teams, from firms, from their support group. Most of them, the only thing that they know in the industry. But you know what else they walked away from? They walked away from being unheard, undervalued, and underpaid. To take a risk on themselves. And that's the theme that we are seeing. Women are finally standing up for what they deserve and demanding more. I'm one of them. I left my father's firm. I left the only firm that I ever known. I walked away from a paycheck. I walked away from millions in assets under management. I walked away from one day taking over a multi-million-dollar firm. But if I didn't take that risk, I wouldn't be here at Harvard speaking in front of you today. I wouldn't be named the top 10 female disruptors of 2022. I wouldn't be building the fastest growing women-owned firm. I would be partnering with the largest insurance firm to build out their female platform, right? That's how it snowballs. That's how the momentum starts to really build. So how can you bust through your box every single day? How can you listen to your intuition, Double down on that trust. Take those inspired actions. How do you step into the unknown every day? That's how we support our advisors and our clients, is pushing them and stepping them in. And all this is doing is reprogramming your mind, your instruction manual, to playing that larger game. And that's exactly what Confessions of a Money Queen is. It's an instruction manual, a step-by-step guide to getting you to build that money empire, to taking that risk, to climb that mountain. And it's very surreal because I was given this book, I wrote this book in a week, and then I was playing it out in real time in my life. So grab the book because I'm giving it to you for free right now. There are money meditations in there, there's journal work as well. So grab Confessions of a Money Queen. I've been a financial advisor for 13 years. My whole career, the entire industry is built on this notion that you have to manage risk, protect against risk, mitigate risk. But I'm here to tell you that without taking risk in your life, there is no financial security, there is no financial freedom, there is no money empire. Thank you.